Lord knows I can't do this without mascara. Hold on. What do we think? Okay. A little bit of eyeliner. Alright, so now that I went from wake to gothic, let's actually start this video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm actually going to be talking about something that happened to us when we first moved to Colorado. It's a little bit hard to talk about because not a lot of people want to talk about something like this. And it was a hard thing to go through, and tell me this eyeliner is still running. Look at this! As you can see by the title, you probably know what we're going to talk about today. We got scammed out of a dog. Like, Michael didn't want a dog, and I really wanted a dog. And I really wanted a dog just because I wanted a dog, and I grew up with dogs, and I love dogs so much. And so when I was, when we were looking to move, sorry, again, I'm trying to situate myself. So when we were looking to move, I wanted to get a dog because I was going to be here before Mike was going to be here. So that was really my whole situation. So I did what any other logical female would do when looking for an animal, and I went straight to Craigslist because that's what I always thought. Now, selfish, and I really just wanted a dog. So I didn't care whether it was in like another state. I would have driven to go get that dog in a heartbeat. I would have taken off a weekend at work. So yeah, that's actually like what I was thinking, what was going through my mind at the time. I was delusional and I was naive, and now that I am in this situation, I would never do it again. So looking down these lists and lists and lists of people trying to sell their animals, I came across this gentleman. Let's name him Jared. So Jared was trying to sell his dogs. Now, what we really wanted, well, what I wanted, again, this had nothing to do with Michael. It was all about me and what I wanted, and I was being selfish. So what I wanted was a pug. I wanted a pug puppy so bad. And the reason I wanted a pug is because I love pugs. And if anybody knows me, they know it's a very, very unhealthy addiction because that's the only kind of dog I wanted at the time. And I grew up wanting that, and that was the only logical thing in my brain. I didn't think that another dog would be perfect for us. And I didn't think about going to the ASPCA because that wasn't logical to me at the time. So I was scanning down, like the Craigslist ads when I found Jared's page for his two pugs. There was a male and then there was a female. So me wanting that pug so badly, I contacted them right away. I said, hey Jared, like, can we talk about this? I would love to get one of your pugs. It doesn't matter to me which one, specifically maybe the girl, because because Michael's mom and dad have a dog that aren't too keen on boy dogs. So we were like, okay, well, we'll just get the female, and then she'll be perfect. And she was this adorable little pug. She was only a couple weeks old, and they only wanted $350 for her. That should have been a red flag. Now, if you've ever had dogs before, you would know that different breeds can be more expensive depending on the breed because they are either pure breeds or they're high in demand, or they're used as show dogs, or they're used as service dogs. So I knew how much a pug should have gone for, and I didn't listen. So the pug is supposed to be typically anywhere from like $500 to $1,000, $2,000, depending on breeding. And I thought, because this Jared told us that he wanted his baby to go to a good home, that he would have lowered the price. So I was saying, okay, that's okay. So Jared said that he lived in Dallas, Texas. And so down an airplane to us once we had moved to Denver. This was about a month before we actually ended up moving. That sounded fantastic, but it would be an extra amount of money. So I think they ended up saying it would have been another $100 and some dollars, $120. And I was like, okay, we can't really afford that right now. Is there any way that we can do something, waive it? I didn't ask if we could waive it. I said, is there any way that I could pay it later? Because I was getting ready to move to Colorado. And I was like, is there any way we could pay it later or whatever? And he said, okay, well, we just want to work with you and make sure that, you know, you get her and she is everything you ever wanted and she's perfect for you. And I was like, cool, that's cool. So they were like, well, we're going to waive the shipping fee and you're just going to pay $350 for her. And before we left, about a week before I left, I went to Western Union and I was talking to them the whole entire time. Like, we were having like back and forth conversations. Like, it was very, like, we were very, like, we were communicating. There was no, like, we talked that day and then we didn't talk again until the day that she was supposed to get here. But no, we talked for like a whole month, almost a month and a half. And, you know, we had a name picked out for her. We got her a little collar and we bought everything for her. And so everything was really coming to life for us, you know. So this is actually her collar that we bought for her. We were going to name her Harley. And this was her collar. And I can't take this back now because it's customized to her, so you can see. And it had our address at the time on it. And it has her name and everything on it. It's perfect just for her, and it's small and it's petite. She's a pug. So, to kind of catch up a little bit. I'm sorry, there's a mess in the background. We're busy washing. So, we've talked for about a month and a half now. And I've showed him all the stuff we got for her, and, you know, we chatted. I told him all about the two of us and our situation and why we want her so bad and why this is so important to us. And he knew all of this. He knew all of this at the time. And there were some things that I think should have set me off, that this was a scam, but, like, I didn't. I had never been scammed like that before, so I didn't think that it was going to be a scam, you know what I mean? So, about a week and a half before we moved to Denver, he had convinced me that it would be okay if we could send the $200 that she was going to be $350, but if we sent $200, that would cover getting her the rest of her vaccines, and then getting her a plane ticket to be sent to us. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went to Western Union because that's what he had told me to do, and I gave all Jared's information, and I sent him $200. It's important to remember that we are young, and we don't have a lot of money, but we have enough to pay our bills. So that's something that's very important. and it put us behind a good bit in order to, you know, put away this $200 for this dog and, you know, be so willing to do this and to send it, because we thought we didn't have any inkling that this would be bad. So once I sent it, he pretty much was like, okay, well, I didn't get it today, so could you try resending it? And I said, well, no, just wait a little bit. I got the one for 24 hours, so it could be up to 24 hours. And he's like, okay, if it doesn't come in 24 hours, then we'll have to see. And he was very nice. Like, he was a nice guy. And the reason it didn't feel like a scam was because he waited a whole month for us to get that money and to send it, and finessed the whole situation in a way that it didn't feel like a So then once he did get the money, which was probably about 2 days later, we were getting ready. I was getting ready to come to Denver. So, and I was staying with Michael's family for a week and a half, I believe. Okay, so I actually have my calendar right here. I flew out. I moved out of my house on the 7th, and I was here by the 8th. I stayed at Mike's parents for 3 days, and I moved in the 10th. We were supposed to pick up Harley on the 12th. And the reason that it's important to know that we were picking up Harley on the 12th is because we talked to them the whole time, like the whole time I was here, the whole entire time. And they never once mentioned anything about any extra costs, like at all. So on the 12th, I was like, hey, you know, just let me know whenever you're ready for us to go pick Harley up at the airport. I know it's going to take a couple hours. We're totally cool with that. He got back to me after a couple hours, and I kept messaging him, and I was like, listen, if you need me to come tomorrow, if something is in the way, if something's happening, you know, you need to talk to me, because, this is my dog. I need to know what's going on. You need to keep me in the loop. I think it was, after 3 hours, he texted me back, and I don't have any of these text messages anymore because I deleted them all. I was so upset. It was so sad. But I do have the emails, so I will show those. But the text messages I pretty much deleted right away because I was just so upset. Anyways, so I heard back from him after 3 hours, and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, my son's in the hospital, I feel terrible, you know, I really, really just feel so bad, and, he's like, I just can't come in today, and he sent me a picture of what I assumed was his son in a hospital bed in, a leg cast. And of course it tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. I know how that feels. I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry. Just let me know tomorrow when you're ready, because we're really anxious. We'd like to meet her, and I just can't wait. So something to that effect. And he's like, yes, I understand. You're excited, and I'm so happy that we can, you know, help you, but you know, I can't do anything today, which is basically the gist of what he said. So we're like, all right, that's fine. We'll talk to you tomorrow. I just need to know something. You know, I need to know something because Mike's mother is going to be helping. You know, be helping me, and she'll be bringing me to come get her. And he's like, he texted back at like 12 o'clock, and he's like, yeah, I understand, and I just have to talk to the agency who's going to be shipping her. Now, this was never talked about at all in the whole entire thing. I did not know there was going to be like an agency that was going to be helping at all. I was like, okay, like, that's all right. And he's like, okay, here is her receipt for the agency to, like, we paid for her ticket, and here's her ticket. And he sent the picture of the ticket, which now when you look at it, looks forged. And he goes, here, this agency is going to be shipping her, so you need to, we've already put your name down as owner, so now you need to call the agency and talk to the agency and see if everything's settled. And I was like, okay, that's cool, I'll call them. So I called them, and I was like, hey, like, this is, you know, Caitlin, and I just wanted to call and make sure this is the name, this is Harley. First of all, they got her gender wrong, which is whatever, but, you know, some things happen, I get it, but they said that was completely fine, and they changed it, and they were like, okay, now we're going to send you an email, because there are some things you need to look over, and also there is a little bit of a fee. No, they didn't even mention the fee to me over the phone. But they said just go check your email, make sure everything is correct for your shipping address, and you'll be able to pick her up. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. Great. So I went and checked my email, and I got the email. And when I say this email is, like, sketchy, I mean that it's really, really sketchy. And I'll show you a picture right here. When I read that, instantly in my brain snapped. I was done. Like, I was very angry. I had been waiting forever for this dog now, and we're like on the road. We're trying to get a hold of the owner. The owner is like ignoring us now after I read that. And I was like, and I even called him, and we had never talked on the phone, but I called him. I was like, listen, like, this is not okay. You never told me about an insurance fee. You never told me about anything like that. Why is this just coming up now? We've been talking for 2+ months now. Why is this just now a thing? And he didn't respond to me. He, like, legitimately did not respond. And so once I read that, I called the shippers back, I guess, or the shippers, pretty much. I'm just gonna call them the shippers. I can't even remember. I think it's called, like, door to door or something. You'll see it on the actual screenshot. But so I was livid. So I called him. I was like, I was not told about this. The owner did not tell me about this. What is going on? Like, someone needs to explain to me this right now. And he's like, well, in order for us to ship your dog, you need to pay this $1,200 now instead of the $3,600 because you're not going overseas. You're just going across the state. And I was like, okay, I get that, but still, no one told me about this. I don't have that money right now. I can't just give you $1,200. I can't just give you $1,200. It's just not laying around. I just can't go out to my yard and pick it off the tree. That's just not something I can do. And as someone who saved up so hard to just get that $200 in order for, to get her, that was just, I freaked out. I was like, this is ridiculous. Why did no one tell me? So when he finally did get back to me, he started with okay, but you have to pay it. You have to get her out of the shipping area. She's your dog now. This is your responsibility. You have to get her out of there. She's going to die in there if you do not go and pick her up. If you do not pay this, they can't send her to you, and she will die in there. And I was like, first of all, she won't die in there. Second of all, I'm done with this situation. You refuse to answer my text messages, my calls. You refuse to do anything. Like, you didn't tell me about this bill. And he's pretty much just insisting that I pay this money, and that I was like, I don't want to say this is, and I told him, I was like, I don't want to think this is a scam, but honestly, now with reading everything and talking it through with people who have dealt with this before, this seems like a scam, and I'm sorry, but I will not do this. And he goes, well, if you really think that, then you need to go and relinquish ownership and send her, sign her papers back over to me so that I can, give her to a good home, because obviously you aren't fit parents, and I wouldn't want my dog to go to you guys anyway, and really making me feel terrible about the whole situation. I said, you know what, fine, I'll humor you here. Let me call him back and relinquish ownership again. So I called back again, and I was like, hi, and I explained the situation to this gentleman who I got for the third time on the phone. It was like he was the only one in the entire, business structure. I don't know anything about this company. Maybe it was just him, but it sounded like he was the only person. And I was like, listen, this is not a good situation for me. I was not told about any of this money, so I'm just going to give this dog back to its owner, relinquish ownership. I'm not going to be responsible for this anymore. I don't care to do this anymore. And he's like, well, that's an extra fee, and you need to come, to the airport and, relinquish ownership, and it's an extra, $50 fee. And I was like, no. I am not giving you one more dollar. So I pretty much told that to the owner, and he was like, I cannot believe you would just let her die in there. You are a terrible person, and guilting me so hard. And then I blocked his number. Yeah. But, I'm happy to say we do have a dog now. This is Schnitzel, and she is a 9-year-old Karen Terrier. And we got her from the Denver Dumb Friends League, which are literally the best. They're so awesome, so sweet. And she has a cone on her right now because she itched her butt open, her back. See? Little scratches. But she is literally the sweetest little thing in the entire world, and we just love her to death. I will probably have more about her adoption story up soon, and she'll definitely be more on our channel, but it's nice to know that we do have a light at the end of our tunnel, and that we have a beautiful baby girl with us now, and part of our family. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. I'm finally back. I work 80 hours every 2 weeks, so it's very hard for me to sit down and make a video, but I've wanted to come back and do something for a while now. Thank you so much for clicking and watching and keeping up with us, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.